So you guys can go into there now, right, and access the questions, right?
Yes, I can see them. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful. So guys, feel free to text your questions, please. Very important if you can text your questions for us. Thanks.
Okay, let me answer that question. No, schools don't have that information published. The NCAA website, you might be able to find it, but I can tell you right off the bat. And men's Division I soccer, an institution is allowed to have 9.9 full scholarships. That's all they have. They can have either 9.9 players, have 25 players, but they're only allowed to have an equivalency of 9.9 scholarships. In Division I women's soccer, they're allowed 14 full scholarship equivalencies. So again, they could have either 14 players on their team on full scholarships, or they can have 28 players on half scholarships. But this is not published anywhere, okay? So you have to have, yeah, you can find that on the website, but in talking to the coaches, most of the institutions rarely ever give you a full athletic scholarship. It is very rare that a student athlete gets a full scholarship, very rare, okay? What you get is a combination. So this is why academics are important. You can get academic money and you can get athletic money that could get you either to a full scholarship or close enough to a full scholarship, but it's very rare that you get a full scholarship strictly from athletic equivalencies, again, just because of what they're allowed to have. Now, because the NCAA has the maximum allowable number of scholarships, that doesn't mean that an institution has that. So I was at a Division I school, and even though they allow 14 for women, my school only had 5. So I had to build a team with 5 full scholarships, okay? So, so that means almost every one of my players, if they are on scholarship, it's a combination of academic and athletic, but the athletic amount that I have, I really have to figure out how to divvy it up to get the quality of the player that I want, the player that I actually need to meet my program needs, and in order to make it affordable enough for the student to choose my school as opposed to another school. So, but they're not published. That's just what they are. At Division II, the men's programs are allowed 9 scholarships. The women's programs are allowed 9.9 scholarships. So it's a little bit more on the women's side at every division. Division III schools do not give athletic scholarships. It is all academic and grant. Division III schools do not give athletic scholarships. NAIA, again, would vary depending on the institution and the equivalencies that the NAIA allows as well. Some junior colleges give scholarships. Some don't give academic scholarships, so they only give athletic. So it just depends on, again, research that you're doing to really understand what those things are.
Someone was asking to, and I would phrase the question in a different way, is field hockey a collegiate sport?
Yes, it is. It is a collegiate sport, University of Maryland, and those schools in the mid-Atlantic, Pennsylvania, places like that, a lot of those have hockey programs, and they are scholarship sports. In fact, I know a young lady from Trinidad who played field hockey at the University of Maryland. So they are, and they're scholarship sports. They have equivalencies. Almost every sport, you can find a collegiate athletic program, and almost every sport, depending on the level, will have some sort of scholarship equivalency. You know, it's 5, it's 6, it's 14. In American football and basketball, those are the only 2 sports that are fully funded. They don't give you a partial scholarship for those sports. So football might have 90 full scholarships because that's how many players they carry. And so you get a full ride when you go to football, or you're a walk-on if you don't get a scholarship, or you might get an academic scholarship only. You don't get a combination necessarily. In basketball, it's the same thing. They're allowed 12 full scholarships. And again, it's not for basketball and football, they're not partial, they're full scholarships.
And Kendall, too, what I'd like you to dive into the benefits of playing multiple sports. What is the benefits of playing multiple sports?
So again, multiple sports are helpful if we're looking at the financial equation, okay? So for example, I've had student athletes who were playing soccer on my team, but they also ran cross country. And so you can get additional money from another sport. I've had players who play softball and soccer with me, and they get extra money from softball to play softball. They get money from me for soccer, and then they get academic money. So multiple sports allow you to do what they call the stacking. So you get academic, you get athletic, and then you could get athletic from one or more sport. The challenge though with multi-sport is time consumption. You could be coming out of one practice and going to another practice. You could be ending one season today and jumping in the next season tomorrow. And some schools, some coaches won't allow it. They won't allow to share their athlete with another sport. I know I had a situation where I had this twin from California. So we play our season in the fall, and they were both on full rides split between soccer and softball. Okay, they were all-American softball players and soccer players. So me and the softball coach got together. We got them, two sisters, but one injured her shoulder during my season in the fall, and she wasn't able to play for the first half of the softball season in the spring. So he was mad. You know, he had all this money invested in this player, but she got injured playing soccer, you know, which is through no fault of any one of us, but that's sort of the risk that is taken in there. And then I had another player who ran cross country, and some days she would have a meet in the morning, and we have a game at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I can't start her because she just ran a 5K or a 10K or whatever the case might be she ran. So, and plus she traveled, had to travel back, come back in time for my game. So now I can't start her. So that's only one of the differences, some of the major differences in doing the multi-sport. But for financial reasons, yeah, it could be beneficial to you. Just have to know what those differences are. Yeah.
Quite interesting information, guys, that you guys shared with us today, so that we can make better choices, better decisions, you know, have your parents involved in your planning. One of the things too I would take away from this, Kendall, that I would add again to the little knowledge that I have, you know, you want to try to look at a school that you would be more palatable for you in a state that you may have family there. I know a lot of us have families in Florida. It's easy to get there to Florida from what, Port of Spain, 3.5 hours, Kendall, 4 hours flight, Fort Lauderdale area, that kind of stuff where you can get across. And then the weather condition, you may have to go Tallahassee to get a little iceberg every now and again. So it is not that cold in Fort Lauderdale area. And these are the kind of areas, and just for information sake, Kendall, I think there's more than what, about 10 to 15 schools down in the basin, down inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in Thomas University, you have FIU, you have a number of schools.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kendall.
Yeah, there's a large cross section of schools in the state of Florida, just down on the tip down there. And different levels too. So you have NCAA Division I. There's a whole Division II conference down there with Barry University and ECAD and those schools. And then you've got some NAIA schools tucked in there as well, to a couple of junior colleges. So yeah, let me tell you, it's not like being in a place and you want a doubles or a roti and you can't get it. That's just the truth.
That is not helping me right now, Kendall, because the doubles.
I'm just putting that out
For
there.
me right now, Kendall.
I'm just saying.
Doc, Doc, I need a doubles right now, and I got to drive 2 hours to get it right now, Kendall. That is not helping me.
You got to do like me, go on YouTube and learn how to make them yourself.
My drive for doubles is only 20 minutes, so.
Yeah, see, look at you. All right.
I was looking for you to help me, Doc, but you know, I was trying for, okay, yeah, what you can do, you can send it to FedEx for me, right? UPS, post it, slight pepper kind of stuff.
It ain't go last, you know it ain't go last.
Yeah.
Good information. Guys, wonderful information you guys
Thank you.
share with us. I want to talk the different social media platforms for logging on today. Also, too, guys, if you believe that we have a number of people that log on for the live show, there's more people, guys. I must mention to you, Doc and Kendall, you have more viewers that will come on Facebook after.
Right.
And they would come and do the repeat of the show on Facebook. It remains there on the page. So you have a number of people that come there, and then on the YouTube channel, and then we are in some discussions too to have it run throughout the Caribbean region. Very much informative, guys, to give you that backbone or that structure that you need to build upon, right, and get yourself. And I see Doc put some information in there about what you want to major in. Guys who want to go out and play soccer, you need to have an understanding of where you're going and what you want to study. This is not about soccer only. You are a student athlete. This is not where you go to school somewhere in the Caribbean, wherever you are, not being disrespectful, where they keep you on the team because you can play soccer.
Is it?
This is not the way it happened here. You on the team because you can play soccer and you don't go to classes. It just doesn't happen here, guys.
Right.
So may I speak on that really quickly?
Sure, sure.
Environment. So every team you go into is going to have you have eligibility, continuing eligibility rules. That's NCAA rules. You have to pass a certain number of credits per semester. You have to pass with a certain GPA per semester in order to continue. So every year you spend in school, it increases a little bit more in terms of credit towards, because the schools are held accountable with their APRs, their graduation rate. The athletic programs are held accountable for those. And how many student athletes are you graduating? What is that percentage of your students that are graduating? And that burden falls on the coaches, so coaches don't play. Class attendance is important. You got to go to class. You can't miss class. You miss class, you might miss a game. That's just what it comes down to. So you're a student athlete, you're held accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable for showing up and for doing the work and for excelling in the classroom as well too. And then in the cases where you may have a combination of academic and athletic scholarship, you got to make sure you keep your academic scholarship, because if you lose it, it's on you. That's coach. The coach ain't gonna come and find, thousands of dollars to make up for what you lost because you didn't do your part in the classroom. So that's very, very important. It becomes, we started out talking about purpose. Why are you here? Why are you doing this? You're doing this because you're intended on earning a university degree. That's what it comes down to. The ball is just the vehicle.
Yeah, very, very important. I know Doc also mentioned to us to pertaining to scholarships, because we have this idea that once we're in school, the 4 years or the 2 years are totally paid for, and it's not really so. It's some schools, as Doc mentioned to you, it depends on your grades. It depends on grade point average, and you may sign an agreement, and a lot of kids don't read the information. They get that I-20 form and they just get to the embassy and they get up the road, and then they realize, okay, I have a meal plan. It's 1 meal per day.
Exactly.
And then they say, Coach Roy, Kendall, Doc, I can't eat. What is going on with this? Because you didn't read the information properly. and understand what you signed up for. You gotta read the information. And if there's a question, you can find someone. Contact me, contact Kendall,
Yes.
contact them.
Yes.
The information is in there for the email. Contact someone that you could gather that information so you can make wise choices and understand it's a process.
Let me
Anthony,
add.
Sure, Doc. You can add.
Let me just say, if somebody tells you it is the best thing you have ever seen, you can't get any better, stop and ask yourself, why is it that this person thinks I can't get any better? You have to be careful that somebody doesn't sell you or lead you down a path with partial information, because the scholarship may be only good for the first year, and then you're on your own for the 3 years. Or scholarship is only renewable with a certain GPA. And sometimes that GPA is, you have to do a full load. That means you have to take the 15 to 18 credits. So you're doing the sport, you're doing the team practices, you're doing the games, you're doing the classes, and you have to take the 8 classes, and you have to meet the GPA requirement. You have to know all of that before you commit, because once you get here, this country is very good at taking back what it offered. They don't have no problems taking back. And hey, you know how it goes. Once they say, sorry, we can't help you, then the school is saying, well, if you don't got no money, you got to bounce. And that is not a happy place. So know all of the information, as he's pointed out, that includes the meals. What is the meal plan? Every school has a meal plan. 1 meal a day, 3 meals a day, full meals, all you can eat every day. You got to know what it is you are getting, because once you sign on the dotted line, that's all you get. That is all you get.
Coach Roy, one more thing that needs to be pointed out, you just alluded to, athletic scholarships are not 4-year guaranteed either. Annual contracts, 1 year, and they're renewable based on certain criteria that the coach would have or the department would have. It's not guaranteed for 4 years either. It's 1 year at a time. There's no coach can promise you a scholarship for 4 years. That's an NCAA violation in terms of coaches' rules. So that needs to be understood as well. You're gonna have to do certain things when you get there, so that the coach readily they intend to have you there for 4 years, but they're not obligated legally by contract to do any more than 1 year at a time.
Performance, right? On and off the field. I know there's a question here from Denise, I believe, but before I get into the question though, one of the things that I'd like to mention, because I know I have a number of coaches here viewing and a number of student athletes and parents. We have some principals here to Kendall from different schools. I have a lot of principals now are making contact with me from different schools to have discussions, to share the information, to disperse it into the schools to get them involved. I'm going to get you guys involved in this part of it too, because as you know, some of these schools have 2,000-3,000 kids in the school and they want information. And these are things I would like to put in you guys' hands so you guys can talk to the principals and then make arrangements with the principals in the schools to put a pattern to go forward. I know I have about 2-3 principals right now logged on. I already have some discussions with some of them before. And, you know, I have to be honest with you guys, and I mentioned Dr. Kendall, this is not about who plays kids for me.
Right.
This is about kids getting into school. My service is a totally free service. This is about getting you the information so you can go and better yourself. The experts come on the show to give you that information. I cannot attest to say that I know the whole system inside out. I know the system, I'm a part of the system, and I understand it. But when you listen to guys like Kendall and Doc, you can get that insight from them. They can take you through the process, walk you through the process, so you have that understanding of making those proper choices. And these are life-changing decisions you're making, guys. These are life-changing decisions. It's a sacrifice, yes?
Yes.
But you are much better off at the end of it. It's a road you're taking. That is why I usually start and tell you the journey that we are on. You are on a journey, guys.
Right.
And in this journey, you're going to get bumps in the road. You're going to get trees falling. You're going to get wind. You're going to get a lot of things on this journey, guys. But the idea is to keep walking. And to keep walking is not just moving your feet. It's keep studying. Keep managing your time. Keep handing in your papers. Keep practicing on the field. Stay away from the people you need to stay away from on campus, or stay away from hanging out in the nights when you're in school. You have to remember it's a name you're representing, your family, your community, your village, your country. You're representing these things. And one of the information I want to share with you too, there's a lot of kids that I am helping right now. And I know Doc is doing that, Kendall is doing that, and some of the coaches are here. It is very respectable, guys, when you have multiple offers that you mention it to the coaches, specifically to the coaches that is helping you, Kendall and Doc, because I am having this situation that I'm mentioning to kids over and over again. Like, for instance, I had a situation where I was working with a kid for about 6 or 7 months. And actually, the coach really liked that girl. And he did a tour of his school. Beautiful facilities, new gym, new field. They were putting down everything there, guys. And they really wanted this girl in the school. And apparently, what happens though, my YouTube channel is any coach can go on my YouTube channel. What I am getting now is a lot of visitation from a number of collegiate coaches coming on my channel. Ooh. And they will spot a kid. And I have no issues with that.
Right.
Because that is what my channel is for. And I know I have collegiate coaches right now logging in right now because they tell me, Anthony, I love you and watch your program. So they go now on the YouTube channel and they would see kids and make contact with the kids. I have no issues with that either. I am only here as a facilitator. I am a humble servant making a difference. But please, if we are trying to get you in a school and help you and you get an offer, the respectable thing is to say, Coach Roy, I received a call and this school is giving me 95% versus the one that you are working with that is giving me 75%. And I would advise you, or I would pick up the phone and call Kendall. Kendall, this school, I haven't heard about it. Is this a good school? Kendall say, yeah, Coach Roy, this is a good school. That 90% is good. I know that, coach. And trust me, guys, you're watching Kendall here. Majority of the collegiate coaches that is coaching in the US, Kendall have some kind of connection to them. And I know someone who is hosting a show would not say that. I would say it. Because this is not about Anthony Roy. It has nothing to do with me. Kendall will know that. Right. And if you talk to any one of the coaches who offer anything and say Kendall Reyes, they'll tell you, yes, I know him, or I know somebody that know him. Yes, guys. And I need you to say something to me about it because, Kendall, I run into a situation which was really damaging for me. I had a coach that was coaching in a very good program in Virginia. Very good program, Kendall. And if I talk about it more, I know you could pinpoint the coaches. And I could see it in your eyes already. I know you're good. Trust me, I know Kendall from a long time. We're talking back in the 80s here, guys. Some of you weren't born as yet. We were playing soccer with Alvin Coley coaching school. So I know of Kendall. Trust me, from behind the bridge. Yes, I know Kendall. Trust me. So I know his eyes are moving. He's trying to think, I wonder who coaches this Anthony's talking about. Yeah, I can see it in his face. He's smiling. But Kendall, this coach wanted this young kid, this girl, so badly, Kendall, that this coach would continue texting me every other day. Coach, she's in, she's sold up already. And I would say to her, I'm talking to the dad. I'm talking to everyone pertaining to it. Yes, she's there. But this is what happened, Kendall and Doc. And I don't want to call, I'm not going to call it names, but the both coaches' name was starting with W. And the dad was talking to W1, thinking that he was talking to W2. Guys, I hope you're listening to what I'm saying to you, and I know a lot of you are listening. And call the person, the other coach's name versus calling the right coach's name. Now, Kendall, I had no idea this was happening for about a month. The dad didn't say anything to me, and the kid didn't say anything. Now, Kendall, when paperwork came across to the kid, they would call me, they would text me, and I would make myself available. I would answer the questions. I would guide them. Bank statement, whatever you need, the paperwork. Coach, we don't know how to fill this out. Okay, this is how you fill it out. Contact the coach, and I would guide them, Kendall, through the process. They never said a word to me. I text that coach now, and this is a new coach I contacted, very good program, and I realized she's not texting me back. Something is wrong here, because every time I text her, within an hour, doc, she responds. And she's not responding, and I'm finding something is wrong here. So then I had a talk with the guys, so I called them and I said, hey, everything is good. How is everything moving? And by my surprise, she was talking to me about something, Kendall, trying to hide it, and it spilled out. Yeah. And I was just paused. I said, but did I not speak to you and your dad about this several times? Yeah. Do you understand what you guys just did? You guys just destroyed scholarship for a number of other kids who could have gotten scholarship. Yeah. This coach is not taking my call anymore. And Kendall, and I know you could attest to this, a lot of these kids don't understand coaches know coaches. And this coach now is going to say, Coach Roy, give me a kid, and this kid wasn't upfront with me. Now, this coach that who's supposed to contact me, do you think that other coach is going to contact me? They're not. It's not an easy process, guys. Understand that. Remember, we have our jobs and families and all that kind of stuff. And then the time that we take to be with someone. This is not just putting you onto a coach. Sometimes the coach wants to talk to us. We have to guide you through your paperwork. Like, for instance, I am navigating some different things now. I have someone going to call me just now because I have someone that wants to purchase ticket for kids. I have someone that want to give suitcases to kids. I have someone that want to give jackets to kids and gloves to kids. All these things I'm doing, guys, please note, there's no charge to these things. We are bringing and putting things in place so you can be better off. Ask Kendall when he left for school.
I find only take long.
Ask Kendall when he left for school way back when, before you were even born. Some of you were even born.
No. $80 in a Bible.
Ask Kendall the assistant that he got this ticket, if he got a jacket, if he got a hat, if he got a gloves with food. Ask him the assistants. And now Kendall is reaching back down and doing the things that he needed people to do for him. That's a labor. You can't pay somebody for that.
Look, I'm going to close, right? So my house I was living in, we couldn't afford electricity. I study under the street lights, dude.
You understand, guys, what's going on?
I study under the street lights. No joke.
Much blessings, guys.
God is good. God is good. God is good.
Blessings to you guys. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Please put on your mask and please be safe. Till we meet again, guys. Be safe. Have a good one.